You're listening to Union Strong NJSPBA Voices Podcast. The intro is brought to you by the New Jersey State PBA-owned Federal Credit Union, offering competitive rates and fast loan approval. Visit www.njspbafcu.org. Hello and welcome to episode 52 of Union Strong NJSPBA Voices Podcast. I'm your host, Vinny Rizzo, and today's episode is all about reflection, gratitude, and a little bit of nostalgia because we're looking back at what was, without question, one of the most memorable conventions we've ever had. The 2025 New Jersey State PBA Annual Convention at the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino in Punta Cana, Dominican Republic. Now, if you were there, you already know what I'm talking about. If you weren't, well, let me take you there for the duration of this episode, because this year's convention wasn't just a trip, it was an experience. It was unity, leadership, and family, all wrapped in sunshine, palm trees, and that unmistakable Hard Rock energy. From the moment members started arriving, and let's be honest, if you've never been to the DR before, exiting the plane and stepping right onto the tarmac and then into the open-air terminal with straw roofs and no AC is a little bit different. Then you got bombarded, in the best kind of way, by all the livery personnel holding signs that depicted our gold PBA shield. Next was a pretty quick 30-minute ride from the airport to the Hard Rock. As all of our members stepped off those shuttles, sunglasses on, smiles wide, you could feel it. That sense of excitement, of being somewhere special. There's something about walking into that open-air Hard Rock lobby, hearing the music echo off the marble, and realizing that for the next several days, we'd be surrounded by nothing but our brothers, sisters, and their families, together in paradise. Right when you walked in, there was someone serving frosty drinks, as well as a spread of food that surely was better than that stroopwafel or trail mix on the airplane that helped take care of your grumbling stomach and started to ease you into the week after a long day of travel. The ocean breeze, the sound of laughter by the pool, the sight of familiar faces greeting one another. Some for the first time in months, others since last convention. It all set the tone. This wasn't just another getaway. It was for those who serve, lead, and sacrifice for this union all year long. The official opening of our convention carried that signature mix of professionalism and pride. President Andreev and Executive Vice President Freeman led the charge, welcoming everyone and setting the tone for a week that was equal parts business and bonding. Their message was clear. This organization continues to grow stronger, more united, and more respected every single year. We heard updates about legislative victories, contract progress, and continued advocacy for our members, both active and retired. Every word reflected the tireless work of our leadership and the importance of staying engaged, informed, and united. And let's be honest, seeing that ballroom filled with hundreds of PBA members, local delegates, and presidents alike, all wearing those badges of honor representing their locals, it was powerful. It reminded everyone just how far we've come and how much strength we have when we stand together. And here is a testimonial from Convention Chairman Anthony Dellatacoma about the importance of these conventions.
It's an opportunity for us to get together for a few days to go over a variety of issues or topics or points, if you will. You know, in the climate that we work in, constantly changing. You know, we're getting PTC thrown at us. You know, civil service has something with us. Issues in certain locals, maybe up in North Jersey that South Jersey is not familiar with. It gives us an opportunity to get in a room, to talk about these issues, to learn a little bit more, discuss them. Everyone has a chance to get up to the microphone and speak about it. You know, anywhere from 800 to 1,000 members each day. You know, and again, that's probably the Super Bowl for us, because it's not just presidents and delegates in a room. You're getting, you know, just a general member that wants to learn more. That's kind of like thirsty for more knowledge. It gets everybody together in a room. Heads of different organizations throughout the state that we deal with, you know, like maybe it's PERC or civil service or the latest trending healthcare or medical thing. Having some top experts come in and speak to our membership, you know, it kind of puts a feather in the cap by saying, you know, that our executive board and our upper echelon, they do care about us because they are always seeking out the best information.
Thank you for those words, Anthony. Before we get back to the conversation, I want to take a moment to talk to you about the sponsor of this mid-roll, something that's here for you because it's ours. Blue Guardian Insurance is NJSPBA owned and designed with our members in mind. That means it's not just another insurance company. It's run by the people who understand our work, our families, and our needs. Whether it's protecting your home, your car, or your future, Blue Guardian has your back because it's built for us, by us. If you haven't already, check them out at www.pbainsure.com and see how they can help protect what matters most. Blue Guardian Insurance. Our protection, our way. Now, between the sun and the sand, there was still serious work to be done. From the informational sessions and committee reports to important discussions about member benefits and legislative updates, this convention proved once again that our members are not only dedicated to the job, but also to shaping the future of our profession. Attendees packed into the meeting room, taking notes, asking questions, and bringing back information that will strengthen their locals, because that's what this week is all about: learning, connecting, and returning home better equipped to serve our brothers and sisters in blue. But let's not pretend it was all meetings and minutes, because once the work wrapped up each day, that's when the Hard Rock came alive. You could find members sharing stories at the swim-up bar, families laughing together over dinner, kids splashing in the pool while their parents caught up with old friends. The resort became one big PBA neighborhood with familiar faces at every corner. Whether it was the cigar nights under the palm trees, late night snacks in the lobby, members sitting at a slot, table game, or sport book in the casino, or that massive group of members catching a sporting event in the bowling alley bar, it was community at its best, the kind of camaraderie you can't fake and can't find anywhere else. Of course, no PBA convention would be complete without the legendary evening events. The welcome party as the sun was beginning to set was the perfect kickoff with music, dancing, and laughter. The Hard Rock staff went above and beyond, making everyone feel like VIPs from start to finish, making sure no one's drink was empty and all chafing dishes of food were well kept and never empty. There's something about watching hundreds of law enforcement professionals, their families and retirees, all together, relaxed, smiling, and simply enjoying life that reminds you why we do what we do. Because behind every badge is a person, a family, a story, and this convention gives all of that a chance to breathe. There were also a few moments this year that deserve special mention. Like when Father Macron took a moment to acknowledge every fallen member from every local since our last convention, as well as President Andreev, who acknowledged those who made the ultimate sacrifice since our last Board of Delegates meeting. The silence in that room was powerful. You could feel the respect, the emotion, the gratitude. We heard about mental health and resilience from Vinny Montez, a brother officer from Colorado in his own right, but someone who has found stress relief by doing stand-up comedy and had our members in stitches, especially when he got into that child's pose. If you know, you know. We also heard a very high energy and inspirational presentation from one of our very own PBA members, Dr. Reggie White Jr. from PBA Local 145, who had members engaged and at the edge of their seats listening to every word speaking about his right method for professional and personal success. There was also Simply, when members spontaneously gathered by the beach at sunset, sharing stories that had everyone laughing until tears rolled down their faces. Moments like these remind us that the PBA isn't just an organization, it's a family. So when it was all said and done, as the buses lined up and people packed their bags to head home, there was this shared feeling that this week was something special. We learned, we connected, we laughed. We celebrated the bond that makes this profession unlike any other. Every convention has its own energy, but Punta Cana had something extra. Maybe it was the location, maybe it was the music, or maybe it was just after a long year, everyone needed a reminder of how good it feels to come together. And that's exactly what this week gave us. So to everyone who made this convention possible, our leadership team, our convention committee, led by Chairman Anthony Dellatacoma, who you previously heard from, the sponsors, the families, and of course, every member who took the time to attend, thank you. Your presence, your participation, your support, that's what fuels this organization. To the new delegates who experienced their first convention, welcome to the family. To our seasoned veterans who know every corner of this experience, thank you for continuing to lead by example. And to everyone listening to this podcast who couldn't make it this year, there's always next time, and we hope to see you in Fort Lauderdale. But more importantly, there's always this sense of unity to tap into, right at home, every day, in every local. When we say Union Strong, it's not just a phrase, it's a mindset. And after a week like this one, you can't help but feel proud. Proud of the men and women who wear this badge, proud of the families who stand behind us, and proud of the future we're building together. That's it for today's episode of Union Strong NJSPBA Voices Podcast. If you enjoyed the conversation, be sure to follow the podcast and share it with fellow members so we can keep these important stories and updates reaching everyone who needs to hear them. We'll be back soon with more news, interviews, and insights that matter to New Jersey law enforcement. Until next time, stay informed, stay united, stay Union Strong.